if I say to you, I mean, you know the way the NFL is, there's always a team that last year wasn't good that this year is good. And just looking at the way the schedule is came out, and I don't know if you saw that article. There was an article a few weeks back about like who's got the most rest days, and did you see that article? And it
I
was
didn't.
it very much favored the Jets, right? And it makes sense. It's like, hey, the league would love to see Aaron Rodgers lead the Jets to the playoffs, and so the Jets have like a rest advantage on their opponents more than any other team in the NFL this year, right? So like, if the rest advantage would be, we're playing this week and you played on Monday Night Football last week and I played on Sunday Night Football, or I played Sunday, you played Monday. So I have a 1 day advantage rest wise. Well, the Jets have a rest advantage on like 13 games, and it's like far and away the most in the league, where like Chicago, I think, has like a rest advantage on no games or something. It was like one of the smallest in the league. So, but I was going to throw out to you, give me your surprise team. Every year in the NFL, there's some team that didn't make the playoffs that makes it this year, lost double digits that, flipped their schedule around this year, and now they win double digits. Who is the team, in your opinion, that wasn't good last year that you think is going to be good this year?
The one in the AFC that stands out to me, and I like this team going into last year, so maybe I'm doubling down on my own mistake, although there's reasons to think this team's going to be better. Denver, the Denver Broncos, I think in the AFC are the team that stands out the most with Sean Payton now, and another year of Russell Wilson. Like I just can't fathom that Russell Wilson is just completely washed at this point. And to the point where, Sean Payton coming in, and I know it seems like they've been at every Nuggets game together. They're hanging out. It seems like Sean Payton's trying to clean up a lot of whatever was wrong last year. Certainly. I mean, Nathaniel Hackett was probably the worst coach in the NFL. If at least the AFC, just over his head, it didn't work. Really, we saw it from week one when Seattle beat them up there on the Monday night in Russell Wilson's return game. But I think they're going to have a really good defense. I think their offense struggled mightily, especially early. I think Sean Payton comes in, cleans that up, gets Russell Wilson at a minimum back to respectability as a passer and somebody that can lead a team to a positive record. So I think Denver's the team that stands out as far as that goes in the AFC, at least. In the NFC's a little bit tougher for me. Call me crazy, but the Rams are a team that I kind of wonder about in the NFC. Like I just wonder with McVay and whatever's going on with Matthew Stafford. Like I don't know. I feel like there's a window there to be respectable, and they were far from respectable last year. And maybe I'm missing somebody else in the NFC, but I'm kind of looking around at some of the teams that weren't good last year in the NFC, and I'm thinking, no, the Cardinals aren't going to be good. I don't think the Saints or the Falcons are going to be good. Panthers don't do it for me. The Lions were already good by the end of the year, just missed the playoffs. And then the whole Eastern Division was 500 or better in the NFC. So I think there's fewer teams to pick from in the NFC. And that's where probably won't be good for the Niners if this is the case. But I kind of feel like the Rams at 5-12 last year are in a spot where they could sneaky be better than expected. And we're looking back and going, wow, Sean McVay. Like, Sean McVay did a decent job, in a different type of setting, than teams with championship aspirations.
I love your Denver pick. Yeah, I'm all on Denver too. I mean, I just think, Denver, they added McGlinchey to their offensive line. They've got some pretty good skill position guys, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy. I really love Marvin Mims from Oklahoma, the rookie they just drafted. And then, obviously Russell in year 2, and you got Peyton coming over, Dulcich, the tight end from UCLA. is now a year 2 guy. I think he's going to be really good. And then on their defensive front, I mean, you added Frank Clark, you added Zach Allen from Arizona, you already had DJ Jones.
They have a good defense. They had a good defense last year until they kind of quit. Until they kind of quit when everything went awry.
Exactly, and they've got some good defensive players beyond that. Thomas Incoom, Riley Moss, J.L. Skinner. I like Denver with Sean Payton. Definitely, they're my team. I guess in the NFC, I'd probably lean towards a guy that I think is an underrated coach as well, and that's Frank Reich at Carolina. I just like Frank Reich. I think he's a really good coach. And I really believe in Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young. They also added Miles Sanders. I think Miles Sanders helps them quite a bit as a running back. And then they added some pieces as well. Jonathan Mingo, Jamie Robinson, in the secondary. There's some there. I mean, I don't feel I'm not as bullish on the Panthers as I am on the Broncos. But they would get my vote in the NFC as the kind of the team that potentially could surprise. You never know, but I think that's what I would go with.
You hate the Rams pick? You hate the Rams pick, or you just or do you?
No. I like the Rams. I think that the Rams pick's a good one. My only thing with the Rams is just that I think they're going to be better. But I mean, I don't know how much better.
Sure.
They added Byron Young and Dawan Johnson to their front. Both those guys are real good and Nick Hampton. So they got a little bit up front, but they've got a bunch of new faces on defense. You got a bunch of new faces on special teams. I mean, it's just a lot of turnover there. I do love that guard that from TCU they drafted, Steve Avila. I mean, he's just a house. So that will help their offensive line. But Stafford's a little older. They don't have great running back depth. They got Cam Akers. I mean, you got Cooper Kupp, but it's just their weapons beyond Kupp are just kind of don't love them. So we'll see. I mean, that one's kind of the Rams are interesting just from the standpoint of McVay's a terrific coach. Stafford's a really good quarterback. But
I'm almost thinking, hey, those two can get you 9. I feel like those two can get you 9, and you won 5 last year, and so you're coming from a good position to do. I think the Cardinals are terrible. I like Seattle, but is Seattle going to replicate what they had last year? We'll see. I feel like there's some wins in the division potentially for the Rams that could boost them up there.
Yeah, no, totally. I like the Ram pick, but I see them more roughly 500, but we'll see. That's a good option for sure.